I became a Muslim because I was searching for truth, and truth for me would mean that I was in integrity with what I understood. As a young child, about the age of 10, I remember looking at my grandmother and saying, "God is very upset with us today. All of these songs are about Jesus, and we haven't sung anything about him yet." And she looked at me and she said, "Yes, sir, a lot of things I don't understand either." I was studying to be a minister. As a young child, I started preaching at the age of 10. And there were questions that I had at an early age. I wanted the truth, and I knew the truth would make me free. And one of the biggest questions were questions concerning the Trinity, which I did not understand. There were too many scriptures that contradicted that concept. And also the canonization of the Bible. And these were questions that I had as early as 12 years of age. And Islam answered all of those questions for me. When we as Christians look at the concept of the oneness of God, we have apostolic Christians who say there's one God. And then we have the majority of Christians that say that Jesus is God, that God is God, and then he sent himself in the form of a man, in the flesh, which was Jesus, and then he's his word, which was the Bible. In Islam, of course, we know that there's nothing comparable to God. And there are 352 scriptures in the Bible that contradict the notion of Trinitarian doctrine. The word Trinity does not exist in the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, from the first book to the last book. I did my thesis in Bible college at the age of 15 entitled Jesus Christ is Not God. Needless to say, I was not asked to come back. But this was one of the greatest blessings to me, was to find and understand how could the Creator be compared to the creation. And this, of course, was one of the greatest blessings of finding Islam for me, because it all made sense. All my life, I believed firmly that which the Old Testament teaches, thou shalt have no other gods before me. And how could we then have pictures of Jesus in the church if we weren't supposed to have any graven images, if we weren't supposed to have any gods before us? How could we pray to him? And then the testaments tell us that he's a jealous God. And if he's jealous and we're singing about this other guy called Jesus, there's something wrong with the story. That is the parallel of certainly in regards to the oneness of God for me. Well, when I think about the Ten Commandments and I think about the path that Muslims follow, what I find is that the Muslims tend to follow that path in a stronger way than the Christians that I knew. The Christians that I know tend to focus on what they refer to as grace. So that it's okay if you follow these Ten Commandments, but Jesus Christ came to end the law, is what they say. Instead of to say that he came to fulfill the law, they say he came to end the law. So you really don't have to obey those things in the Christianity that I came from. They're there and they're good guidelines, but it's okay if you don't obey. Whereas in Islam, the boundaries that we need to establish an effective constructive life are there. And it's very clear that these boundaries are there. You need to implement them in your life. And if you don't implement them, the knowledge of them is useless. It's like where the hadith that talks about the donkey, one of the traditions of the Prophet, we can take the donkey and put the books on his back, but they're no good to the donkey unless he implements the knowledge. And so Islam teaches us the importance of implementing that knowledge and practicing those commandments. And those commandments are certainly one and the same with that which Islam teaches.